team?
The 7-in-a-row team, I just didn't think we could lose. Anytime we stepped on the field, we had teams arguing. And if we were 4 points down, 5 points down, if we were up, I knew at the end of the whistle, it was our game.
I just remember the laughter in the dressing room, some great laughs, some great characters, and I think in those early years I didn't say too much. I kept quiet and kept my head down, and but it was a lot of great people in the club, and it was a great run for us. It was awesome.
Yeah, a great group of Canadians that we brought up from all the way from minors, the Tobago Gales, Frank Smith, Mickey Hamill. Just good coaching way through the years. Where Timmy Hamill, Mike Hamill, Paul Agnan, again Rory, Jason Coughlin, my younger brother Dwayne. There's lots of just a good core, and it was like this is my second family. That's one thing I'm going to say about the Canadians and just St.Mikes as a whole.
Being great friends with the Hamills, they got me involved at a young age playing minor football for the Tobago Gales, and then our minor team there was St.Mikes. Yeah, just remember those trips up to Fletcher's Field and getting packed into the back of the Hamill Astro blue van, and it was great times. Yeah, I think the minor program that I was involved with and Eddie was involved with, and the likes of Michael and Tim, Jay Coughlin, and then later on Justin Hart, Rory O'Brien. The Moose was involved in that as well. When we look at the core group of guys there's a lot of Canadians on that team that played great football, and I think that really helped us in those years because we already had a core group of Canadian guys that were playing and playing at a high level, and it kept us going there for many championships. So.
Yeah, part of that 7-in-a-row team would definitely be the two coaches, Cormac and Danny Keenan, Cormac or Murray, Lion King. Just every day you'd show up, give it your all. And then Danny, every game would ask me, how am I feeling? My only answer was, I'm okay. Good laugh from that. But those two guys, just tops off to them. They were the leaders of the team.
You got to give it to the likes of Danny Keenan, who's just always there, showing up every week at training, showing up every Sunday, just dedicating that time, as well as Cormac, who's a great organizer, and in those 7 years he was the coach, and just the dedication that he's put forward to the club is just the reason why we're having probably this big banquet here today, and those guys are just unreal. So I got to take my hat off to them, and they're probably the biggest reason why we won those 7 years in a row, is because we never want to let those guys down because they put so much effort in.
They got lucky with the players they had. No, they were great. They didn't change too much. Very simple game plan all the time, and it just seemed everything just seemed to work.
In '94, when we came over when Kitchener folded, we only had, I think, 3 players. It was myself and Ike Hussein and Big Mike Peterite, the big German who played in the middle for us the one year. And then Pat Landy joined St. Mikes with us. I don't think Pat didn't play a game with St. Mikes, but he was a big reason why Kitchener-Kels. He started Kitchener-Kels. I still remember Pat Landy coming to me when I was, I think 1990 or 91, and saying, "Did you ever play Gaelic football?" And I hadn't, and he was the one that got me involved. So it really is. He's the reason why I got to know all the St. Mikes guys. I would never have known Gaelic football if not for him.
I suppose, to be honest with you, the year that we lost Dwayne Walsh, that was an important year for us to win that one. I remember Eddie was captain, and I thought that was a very big one. There was a lot of pressure on the lads. I don't know if it was a 5 or 6 in a row, but that was a real important one for us.
I remember a lot of the fellas that were brought in. They mixed in well, like the Kerry lads, Ina, I think John and Pat, of course, who's still here. But the names escape me, but the players themselves were a whole different gig altogether. They come in and there was no interruption, and there was a group of 7 or 8 that played on each team every year, and the few that were brought in, a couple of the young fellas like yourself, Horst, that came in and whatnot, but the few lads that came in, there was no disruption in any kind of way at all.
The first one was nice. I still remember when the final whistle went, Paul McAvenna jumped into my arms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not many people say that a highlight of their career is Paul McAvenna jumping into their arms. But I remember that moment like it was yesterday. Yeah. I always said Paul McAvenna to me probably played the biggest part in what I thought was team bonding because he was a character. He could score a point just when you really needed a point. And there was just something about him. I always found he relaxed everybody in the change room. I used to love him and Cormac in the change room before the games. That was as fun as the game sometimes, you know? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we're the team we were, because we had more characters than anybody else in the league. You know? We weren't always the best football team. We were just the best team.
I'd say, you know what, my old pal over here, Mr. Burns, without a doubt, was, you know, he did what Mr. Keneally does for the present team. He's sort of one of those players that dragged us back when we needed to, and had a word when we should have had words with each other.
Well, Paul, probably the first year that we won that in '95, I believe it was. That was our breakthrough year, and then we went on from there. Players over the years playing on those teams was, of course, Edwin Walsh, David Keenan, Rory O'Brien. But the character of that 7 in a row was no doubt was Paul McAvenna. I mean, Paul was the character on the team, probably one of the best corner forwards that ever played for St.Mikes. And there was just a great spirit in that team, and went on to win lots of championships. And it was a pleasure to be part of it, playing and coaching them. I enjoyed managing, and we had a great, myself and Danny, we had a great run there. But I think it was tougher to manage than to play, actually, because when you're on the line you got more excited about the game than feeling that you could do nothing about it, making the change. But they thoroughly enjoyed the whole 7 years and the whole time that I coached with Mike's and played with them.